Yeah, and Rodney, thank you so much for that because it's really important that we do, in fact, keep up with what's happening with this weather, especially since people are still cleaning up from the storms that we already had. So that's what I want to talk more about right now. A lot of people across Metro Atlanta are grateful just to have a little bit of a break. I know we're expecting those storms later on today, but just a little bit of a break because those storms that we saw over the weekend were pretty intense. I don't know about you, but oh my gosh, our internet went in and out. I have so much debris to clean up at home myself. The rain was going sideways. So let's take a look at some of the damage. Some of these storms actually were even deadly. A man who has been identified as 56-year-old Jason Payne was killed. A tree fell on his car. This is so random. He was actually driving on State Route 51 when this happened. And then there was damage also a little bit closer to home for us. In Smyrna, a man suffered a concussion when a tree smashed into his living room. One neighbor said the damage shows just how strong that storm was and is nervous about what's going to happen today. And again, this was the area where the tree fell on this man's car here, this map showing you that. And there's the tree that fell on that man's home. We actually had one of our editors here who lives in Carrollton, and a tree fell on her home in the overnight hours. Now, fortunately, she's actually at work this morning. She is one of our video editors, and she said she's just grateful that she was not hurt. So again, we're watching for these storms for you today. Keep up with us throughout the day on the air as well as online. Now, the other big story that we're watching today, President Donald Trump's new travel ban is now in effect. It blocks entry from 12 different countries, mostly in Africa and the Middle East. Atlanta News First's Blake Devine reports from Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport as this ban is stirring up some fear and some frustration.
People we talked to say this feels a lot like 2017 when President Donald Trump first enacted a travel ban which affected many Metro Atlanta Muslims, leaving them in limbo and sparking protests at airports across the country. This morning, another travel ban has been put in place targeting 12 countries, mainly in Africa and the Middle East, while restricting the entry of travelers and immigrants from 7 other countries. This new order makes exceptions for permanent U.S. residents, visa holders, and family members of athletes. So while players from those countries can compete in global sporting spectacles such as the 2026 World Cup in Atlanta, fans may struggle to get here. Throughout Georgia, this ban has left most of the Muslim community concerned.
What it gives is confusion. It gives us fear. It gives us uncertainty. People who make plans will not be making plans anymore.
The Trump administration says more countries could be added to this list, and countries could also be removed from this list if they update their visa and security policies. Reporting from Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport, Blake Devine, Atlanta News First.
And just a reminder, when you are traveling, the Transportation Security Administration is reminding you, despite rumors you might be seeing on social media, Costco and other membership club cards don't count when you're trying to get through TSA screening. Last month, TSA started enforcing the requirement for the real IDs and other acceptable forms of ID used for those security points, and some of those that are accepted are your passport, border crossing, and permanent resident cards. You cannot use your Kroger card or your Costco card. Just a public information announcement here regarding that. All right, we are looking forward to the weekend, and this weekend we're going to be celebrating Juneteenth. It is actually, the actual date is June 19th, but there's a big parade coming up this weekend. It's the parade and the music festival, and of course, Atlanta News First is the proud media sponsor of the parade, and you can watch that parade right here on Atlanta News First on Saturday. You can join us from noon until 2. We're going to have live coverage along the parade route and the festival. Or, of course, you can watch the parade on ANF Plus, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. And we had a chance to talk with the organizer to talk about just how much this parade has grown over the last several years.
I see the melting pot of what Juneteenth is. And it's not just an African American thing at this particular point. It's really a citywide, nationwide, and really a worldwide kind of space that people are coming out and demanding that freedom is at the top of the agenda.
And again, you can check out the parade live right here on Peachtree TV. Okay, so we're going to be sponsoring. We're all going to be out there along the parade route. Brooks and I are going to be at the very beginning of the parade. Of course, that wraps up with a big old festival down at Piedmont Park. So again, watch the parade on ANF Plus, Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Should be a good time, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. And so speaking of the weather, just stay weather aware today because we do have those stronger storms moving in for later on this afternoon and evening. We'll get a dry day tomorrow and maybe a little bit of a dry day tomorrow and Wednesday before more storms roll in toward the end of the week. Make it a great day, everybody. Thanks so much for watching.